Is in continuation of our Dataweave series. This is my fourth video on Dataweave. So in this video we will learn more about if and if else statements. So I know this is quite easy for everyone, but I just wanted to highlight few points on how to understand this and how it works. So we shall see various examples. Okay, I'll be using this Dataweave preview feature of Anypoint Studio for this. So first you can see I am having my preview. Okay, let me delete this as my Dataweave preview is not working. It's always best to delete and type JSON so that it will give a quick preview for this. So now you can see we have an empty array here. Now you have to understand the syntax of if and if else. So if will evaluate a boolean and returns the value corresponding to it. So what is meant by boolean? For example, for every if statement, so if there will be some condition here, right? This is the syntax: condition, the value 1, else value 2. This is the on a high level, this is the syntax, it will be there. So what is this condition is, whatever condition you write within this if statement should result into a boolean expression, that means true or false. For example, if I told like it should result in a boolean, so I can directly write if true, say success. So for every if statement you should have an else statement at the end, so else failure. Okay, now you can see if true, that means if it is a true, it will return this value whatever you are giving, else you will be having this value. Now if I write false over here, if it returns false, so it will execute the else statement. Now you can see it is failure. So this is very basic thing. So whatever you write within if should result into a boolean value, that is true or false, and you can write any number of expressions or any number of conditions within if. For example, now again coming back to true, if true it is success, true and true will also give success, true and false, true and false is false, so that's the reason it will give failure. Let me close the bracket. So now you can see true and false is returning false, and that's the reason it will give failure 1. Now you can write true or false. True or false, any one of them is true, it is true, so this expression will lead to true, and that is the reason it is giving success. So this is on a very basic level how if else works. So if statement results, whatever you are writing within this condition, so should result in a boolean value. Now coming back to our, like, let's have few examples. I can say if, now if a equal to a, you can say matching, else, so let me keep this matching, else doesn't match. Okay, this is the condition. Now you can see if a equal to a, it is giving matching, else doesn't match. Why? Because a equal to a is true, so as it is returning true as a boolean value, it is going into this one, right? And see, if I give uppercase a, it says doesn't match because always it is case sensitive. All right, this is very important if you want to know this part. Now what if you want to give, if you want to have nested if statements, that means more than one if statement condition. For example, I need to have some, let me say like where a equal to 50. Okay, so consider these as marks. Okay, first what I will do is if a greater than 50, say pass, or you can say like first class. As I told, for every if statement you should have some else statement. Okay, so first I will write else statement and I will say fail. Now in this case it will give fail because 50, the value of a is not greater than 50, it is equal to 50. So it will not go to if condition, it will go to else condition. Now if I want to add one more else condition, what I can do is else if. This is called nested if. Okay, else if, again give a condition a equal to 50 or a less than 50. Okay, a equal to 50 or a less than, or what you can do is if a less than or equal to 50 and a greater than 30. Okay, that means you are saying like second class. All right, now you can say it is, now you can see as 50 falls under second if condition, so it is giving this output. So the syntax is if. So this is same like else if is same like if, the only thing is you will have additional if and there will be a space between else if. Most of them make a mistake here like providing else if like this, right? This is not a correct statement, so it is else if like this. And for every if statement, as I said, you should be having a else statement for sure. I will also show you where else statement is not required, but not here in this example. Okay, so this is else if. You can also add one more, like else if. You can write any number of else if. So I will say like less than or equal to 30 and a greater than 20. You can say like third class. So you can see if you can change marks. So 60 is first class, 50 is second class, 20 is fail because 20 is falling under else condition because it's not greater than equal to. So what I will do is I will give 21, so it's third class, and finally if it is 20 it is fail. Now if there is a condition, for example, if a is greater than 50, but you still need to check some else condition, some other condition if it is greater than 50. That means this value is also depend upon some other condition. So in that case what you have to do, for example, you have scored 80 marks. So 80 is like 80 falls under first class, but still you need to differentiate like if he is under distinction or not. So for this value itself you can define another if else condition. How? It is like, first before defining the value just wrap it in small braces. This is very best practice you have to use so that you won't have any confusion. Now if a greater than 50, so it has to print some value. So that value also, if you have some condition, you can just define if a greater than 50 and a less than 70, it is first class, else distinction. Okay, now you can see it is falling under distinction category. So other conditions why I am not checking is if a value is less than 50, first of all it will not go into this condition, it will go to else if category. So this if else condition is only confined to this if statement. Okay, because this is the value that you want to be printed only if this condition is satisfied. So this is how you can have nested ifs within this if statement. Okay, so it's all about very easy, it's just a logical condition. In Mule 3 we used to have when otherwise. So here in Mule 4 now it is replaced by if else statement. So this is how you can define if else statements. And as I said, like always it is mandatory to have if and else statement, right? So there is one way where you can skip this part. Please suppose you have an object, say name Shravan. Okay, let me define a equal to 28. Okay, this is the age. Now I'll say like name Shravan. So print it only if the age is greater than 30. So if I define like if a greater than 30. Okay, now you can see I didn't write any else statement here, but still it is executing. So what does it mean? You are defining, you are saying something like, so this is very important, crucial here is, the crucial part is wrapping them in the small braces. Okay, if you are not wrapping in the small braces, it is not an allowed syntax. So you have to wrap this in a small braces and write the if condition like this. Now if I give 31, you can see the values are printed. So this is how you can skip an object if something like if a is null or a not null, those conditions if you have, you can do. Most of them what they do is they keep name colon Shravan and they provide if statement here. No, this is not the correct statement. You have to give it after this key value pair right away. Right, next like name mule. Okay, I can say if a less than 30, less than or equal to 30, right? So now if I give 29, you can say the name is mule. If the name is 31, it is giving Shravan. So in this way you can make use of this if alone without using else statements in this kind of scenarios. Okay, so hope this video is helpful for you. This is a very basic one and very easy syntax, but don't do mistakes, because when you are writing nested if statements, please make use of this small braces wherever required. Okay, the small braces are very important when you are writing any syntax, right? So it's good to always provide small braces, that will avoid confusion. Hope you like this session. We will be doing more videos on Dataweave in our next sessions. Thank you.